Lionell Thompson, Paul Parker, as we take a look at the Corona tail of the tape, and you can see Parker's got a 5-inch height advantage, 3-inch longer reach. Both of these guys at 30, but Thompson has got more experience as a pro. Let's see what bears itself out here in this fight. Both men are in the ring. We get the official introduction from Sugar Ray Flores.
Live on FS1 from Las Vegas, Premier Boxing Champions now features 8 rounds in the light heavyweight division. The 3 judges ringside are Adelaide Byrd, Robert Hoyle, and Glenn Trowbridge. And the referee in charge when the bell sounds, Jay Nady. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the white trunks. His professional record, 7 wins, 4 of those coming by way of knockout against 1 loss. Fighting out of Toledo, Ohio. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Paul Pay-Per-View Parker. Across the ring, his opponent fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the red with the white trim. As a professional, 16 wins, 10 of those coming by way of KO. Opposite, 3 losses, fighting out of Las Vegas by way of Buffalo, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Lionell "Lonnie B" Thompson.
8 rounds. Obey my commands. Good luck. Touch gloves. Let's go to work.
Here we go, round 1. Thompson in the red trunks, Parker in the white trunks, the black trim.
Thompson comes out and immediately he jabs. He knows what to do with that height and reach advantage that he has.
Lionell Thompson is a very relaxed fighter. He was like that in the amateurs. I watched him a lot in the amateurs. He even had him on some amateur shows that I put on. And looking at him right now, he's just working his way in there.
He was training, he said, at the Mayweather Boxing Club. Floyd Mayweather was prepping for his fight against Andre Berto. He said some of Floyd's guys took notice of his work. And Floyd, he says, asked him to sign with Mayweather Promotions. He had only 1 fight. Thompson did last year.
Yeah, I know that was big for him. I would see him from time to time, and he just had a hard time. You know, he had a hard time not fighting, being inactive. And that's not what you want as a professional. So I'm glad to see that he has finally signed with TMT, and he's going to get more movement now. The other thing, too, going back to this fight, it's good to see that both the fighters, the previous fight and this fight, we have 2 guys that have a height disadvantage, but they're using the jab more than their opponent. I like to see that.
Yeah, Parker, you can see he's got the definite reach advantage there. He used the jab, then came over the top with the right hand.
Yeah, but Lionel's not afraid to jab with him. And you need your jab to work your way into the body or to the head. You need your jab.
And it seems like, unlike in our last fight with Aiken, who had the height advantage, Parker seems to be throwing a lot more than what Aikens did.
Oh yeah, Parker's pretty active with his jab. You know, this is a fill-out round for both guys, but he's definitely more active with his jab than the other guy. He's placing in different places, to the head, to the body.
The other thing we can say about this fight too is it's completely noticeable from the jump that both these guys have more experience than the previous fight. Those guys didn't have as much experience as these 2 guys, and they're displaying it right now.
"30 seconds here in round 1.
This is a good, close first round.
Thompson missed with that right hand. Parker misses with his. There's a right hand that connects for Thompson.
Good right hand.
Neither guy rushing, both guys using the jab. It's good.
Round 1's in the books. It's a good look at Lionell Thompson. And both of these guys came up the hard way. Lionell Thompson told us his dad, when he was younger, was jailed. His mother had a drug problem. The state took him away from his parents, put him in a church orphanage at the age of 12. He said he learned to fight then as a teenager.
You know what? I didn't know that about Lionell. I can say right now, live on air, that I'm proud of him. You'd never know that from hanging out with him, talking to him, spending time with him. I've known him for a number of years. Would never have guessed that.
Paul Parker, out of Toledo, started fighting at the age of 15. In fact, he said that when he started fighting boxing as an amateur, he was still part of a street gang. He said he would fight and then hang in the streets, never took it seriously until he was arrested. He said at the age of 22, he did 18 months for drug possession, got out on 6 months of good behavior. He said it turned his life around, being in prison, took up boxing seriously, and now he goes back to that same prison to speak to the inmates about second chances.
That's good. That's what life is about, giving back. But it's funny, he's from around our parts, so I spent some time in the ring with this guy.
What was your take-up for him from some of those sparring sessions?
We sparred maybe 4 rounds one time, and to be honest, he quit after I think 4 rounds. But I digress. This is a good fight. He's using a good style right now. He's trying to use his reach, and Lionell is still being patient, still being calm, and he's working his way through this fight.
Lionell's gonna have to do a little bit more because this guy is outworking him here. You know, the punches may not be landing, but he is outworking Lionell.
Yeah, and I'll piggyback off of what my dad just said. You don't want to rush. You don't want to do too much. You want to be calm in the ring, but at the same time, you don't want a guy to outwork you, and you want to establish what you want to do in the ring. You don't want to wait.
Well, it seems like at this point, Parker is taking advantage of that height and reach advantage. He is using the jab and trying to catch Thompson every time he tries to come inside.
Yes, he's establishing that jab. Even if it's not landing, he's putting it out there, and the guy has to respect it. And Lionell's got to do something to take that distance, you know, and shorten that distance and get to him.
Yeah, we see Lionell, he's bouncing out, but then there's no counter. I'd like to see him work a good quick counter after he uses defense to get out of the way of the long reach of Parker here.
Parker missed with that right hand as these guys get tripped up quickly. From a trainer perspective, what would you tell Thompson to try to get in on the inside? What should he do? How do you get on the inside of Parker?
Well, when that jab comes out there and it's moving back to his face, he's got to step up with it.
Final seconds here, round 2.
So he doesn't want to lean off of the punches. He wants to actually catch him and then slide up. That'll cut down the reach and distance.
You were talking about Parker, the height, the reach advantage, and that he's sticking that jab out there, giving him something to think about.
Yeah, he threw 3 jabs there and a right hand. He's just making Lionell have to respect that. So he's keeping Lionell off balance with that jab. Even though it's not landing, he's making him have to respect it.
Backs him up a little bit. We resume round 3.
And he's right back to the jab. He jabbed to the head, he jabbed to the body, he's right back to the jab.
In my opinion, Lionell Thompson is fighting a smart fight right now, but I would love to see him pick it up. More punches to both head and body, more jabs to keep Parker on his toes.
As long as Parker's using that jab and placing it in different places like he's doing right now, he's in control.
Long night. Long night for Lionell if he allows Parker to keep working.
There's a right hand! And Thompson's glove touched the canvas.
Yeah, it was a good right hand. A long right hand.
It's a very good right hand. Parker caught him on the very end of that right hand. That's where the power is, at the end of the punch.
So the first knockdown goes to Parker here in round 3.
So I would say by Lionell's movements right now, he was definitely buzzed by that jab. I mean, by that right hand.
He argued the knockdown, but now he's moving. So yeah, we know that he's trying to recover. He's trying to use more defense now.
And Parker, aggressive now.
Parker's using feints. He's using a long jab. And he's pursuing this guy like he wants to win the fight.
Thompson sticks out a jab last time, and Thompson had been down a couple of years ago. In fact, he fought Sergey Kovalev Kovalev stopped Thompson. Now, Thompson told us, look, I fought that fight on just a 2-week notice, but I would give it to him. He was on a different level, he said, Kovalev was, than I was on at the time. He said the biggest lesson he learned from that fight was I kept pulling back, straight back, with my chin up.
Never pull straight back, but there's no shame in losing to Kovalev because he's doing that to everybody. So, you know, he fought a great fighter there.
These two mix it up off the ropes. Under a minute here in round 3.
Parker's definitely in control, and the jab is making everything happen. Even though the jab's not landing cleanly, he's got the guy off balance with his jab. He can win a fight with the jab.
I want to talk about Lionell real quick. His movement is back and it's to the side. When you have that body style, that body structure that he has, you have to have a forward lean. You have to be coming forward. That's the only way he's going to be able to beat Parker is by coming forward, landing hard shots.
Parker misses with a right hand. This round comes to a close. Paul Parker is 7-1. He's coming off his first defeat. It was a 3rd round TKO. That happened in June of last year. Vyacheslav Shabransky stopped him.
And I believe Shabransky's an undefeated fighter as well.
Yes, he is.
And I watched him come through the amateur program. Very good fighter. So, you know, both of these guys been in with some tough competition. And again, Parker's right back on that jab. Jab to the head, jab to the body, come back with the right hand to the head. I need Lionell to really try to work inside, get inside that jab to take that reach away from Parker.
Yeah, Lionell's got to work his way inside. When he gets inside, he's got to punch right there. He's not punching. He's pulling back. That's a recipe for disaster right there for Lionell Thompson.
Let's see how you, the fans, have this one scored thus far. According to throwdownscoring.com, you've got Parker pitching the shutout here. You gave him a 10-8 round correctly with the knockdown in the 3rd.
I'm going to take a good guess and say Parker is used to fighting smaller guys and using his jab well, and Lionell's not used to fighting taller guys and having to get inside. And that's what the problem is for Lionell, and that's what the advantage is for Parker. Both guys are doing what they're expected to do, you know, from their body styles.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's what it looks like. It looks like Lionell Thompson's not used to fighting guys this tall or this long. The corner can tell you the adjustment. Are you able to implement the adjustment? Do you have what it takes? Right now, we're not seeing that Lionell Thompson has a boxing style that is useful against a taller opponent.
And the interesting thing is, considering Parker's only had 8 fights in his career, Thompson now, I mean, you look at it, this is like his 20th fight. He's been a pro now for 7 years compared to Parker's only been pro for 4 years. And, you know, Thompson has sparred with guys, world champions, Carl Froch and Lucien Boutte and Chad Dawson. Pops his jab at Parker. And now it's Thompson on the attack with the right hand.
Well, at the end of the last round, I said that in order for him to win, he's got to come forward more. He's got to have a forward lean, and he's got to come in with punches, not with his head, and not lean back. He's doing that a little bit more this round.
Yeah, he's going to have to turn it into a dogfight if he wants to win this.
I think he's trying to turn it into a dogfight. When he's on the inside, he's moving his hands now, and there's more pressure being applied by Lionell Thompson right now.
Parker just missed with that right hand. Round 4 is coming to a close here.
There's that back lean, it's not good. He's too short to lean back off of punches, especially with a guy this long.
It's a fundamental mistake.
This is the halfway point of this fight.
So the fundamental mistake that Lionell makes is he leans off the punches instead of getting inside of the punches to shorten the taller reach.
Yeah.
Parker has dominated this fight thus far with his jab. He did put Thompson to the canvas in round 3 with a right hand. Yeah, that's a fundamental mistake for anyone that
anyone. You're just not supposed to lean back off of a shot. That puts you at the end of the punch, which will either put you in line to get hit or put you in line to get hurt. So that's what he's doing right now. He's applying more pressure, but once Parker goes on the offense, his reaction is to lean back. Not good. He should be leaning forward to the inside and ripping off body shots.
He's applying more pressure, but with his pressure, he's leaning back or he's bouncing away from punches. He's got to shorten that distance, and he's got to work when he gets there. As you can see right there, he pulls out.
Now, the one thing I remember his corner was telling me, and there's a jab there by Thompson. You know, remember his trainer told him that he thought that Parker was slowing down. Do you see Parker slowing down at all?
No, I don't think Parker's slowing down, but I do think Lonnie's picking up his pace. I don't think Parker's slowing down, but I do think that Lionell is picking up his pace.
Yeah, I don't think Paul Parker is slowing down either. And let's remember that he's on the B side of this fight. If he's getting off, if he feel like he's winning, he's not going to slow down. He's going to pick it up. At least that's what I
And as soon as you said that, Sean, I saw Parker take a deep breath. He may be feeling just a little bit uncomfortable with the pressure right now. But, you know, his pressure is a jab, and you need more punches if you're going to pressure a guy. A jab's not enough to pressure a guy. You know, a jab can control the fight, but the jab sets up everything. And here we saw a jab and a right hand, but you know, we need more punches from Lionell. There we go, a few body shots there.
So I think right now, at this point in the fight, Parker's doing all the right things. What do you think? Is he doing all the right things?
Yeah, he's doing the right things, but you know, Lionell has picked up his pressure. He has come forward more, but it's just a jab. We need both hands working here, and then he pulls out, and that's an example of the fundamental mistake that he's making.
Short right hand there by Thompson. And he follows it up with a stiff jab that brings some blood from the nose of Parker.
So it looks like Lionell's going to try to jab his way and land the right hand.
As we put a cap on round 5. This is round 6.
And Lionell meets him in the center of the ring, and that's showing that he's showing a sense of urgency now.
How about that?
Body shots, he's finished with a headshot.
But back on the outside, this is what it's telling me as an athlete. It's telling me that he doesn't have the conditioning to stay in there and continue to do that, or he doesn't know how to stay in there and do that. I'm going to go with the first one. I think he maybe not feeling that he's up to doing something like that, but that's what he's got to do. He's got to get inside, rip off, bring it from the bottom to the top.
I beg to disagree. I think Lionell is the type of fighter that's confident in his jab. The problem here is you got to change that against the taller fighter. You can't just jab with the tall man. You've got to put some body work in there with it.
We saw something new right there. We saw a feint with the feet, which will work, which will open something up for him.
Let's see how the fans have this one scored thus far. Throwdownscoring.com. And you gave Thompson first round of the fight in the 5th round.
I gave him the last round as well. I thought he worked harder. He worked smarter.
He's just a guy that relies on his jab, and he really doesn't put a lot of punches behind that, and that becomes a problem when you're fighting a tall guy. You've got to put more punches together to take control.
There's an overhand right by Parker.
And we get a little bit of Mayweather there, leaning back, shoulder roll.
Left hook to the body by Thompson. There's a big right hand, right hook by Parker.
That's a knockdown.
Big Nate says no, calls it a push.
Need to see a replay on that one.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll take another look at it. There's under a minute here in round 6.
Well, we can see that Paul Parker has definitely slowed down. The sting, the snap on the punches isn't there anymore, and he's starting to swing and miss.
Lionell's been landing that jab very well, and that's what's causing Parker a problem. But
stiff
again,
jab, Thompson.
Yes, definitely a good jab. But again, he needs more punches behind that jab. I like to see a jab and a combination.
What you call it, a second and a third combination?
Yeah, you definitely can use that.
Tell the people what you mean by that.
Well, when you put a
Final seconds. You elaborate that on in the next round. Blood now coming from the nose again of Parker. Round 7 when we come back. Welcome back. As you look at the corner, Wall Parker working on his nose now. He went down in the last round. Was it a knockdown? Was it a slip? Jay Navy says it was a slip.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It wasn't a knockdown. He caught him on the back, shoulder blade. It's more on his shoulder blade.
And you can see the feet got twisted up at the end too.
And Sean, you mentioned a second series of a combination. What I like to see him do is throw a combination, put a feint together behind it, come back with another combination.
We're in round 7. This was scheduled for 8.
It may come down to these last 2 rounds. Who wants it the most right here? And the same thing for Parker. If he put a second combination after that first combination, he may be able to get the line.
And it looks as if at this point, maybe the knockdown, the difference in this fight as we take a look at it, you, the fans, have it scored thus far, and you give it another round to Thompson. So you might be on it if Thompson continues to roll up rounds here. That knockdown may be coming into play very, very crucial in this fight.
And Lionell needs to keep the pressure on. His jab was working very well in the last round. He needs to get back on that jab.
It's looking like, to me, he wants to box his way to a victory now. He wants to try to stay on the outside, just land the jab, move, stay out of the reach of Parker, and essentially box his way to a victory.
I agree. He's confident in his jab, but you don't know what the judges are thinking.
Exactly.
So you got to go for broke.
Yeah. There's a jab. He found him with the jab, and then he threw a right hand and landed the right hand. That was good.
Double jab there by Parker.
My dad always says this, and we're seeing it in this fight. My dad says when you're on the end of a long, tall guy's punches, even if he's not landing those punches, it still gives a perception that you're losing. So right now, even though Lionell's able to land from the outside, when Parker throws, he's leaning off of those punches, and it's not a good look for him.
And perception means a lot in boxing because, every judge has got a different perspective here. Different from what we're looking at.
Both threw a couple of left hands, but Parker backed up after eating that left hand from
Good jab.
Thompson.
Good jab.
And it seems as if Thompson now picking up momentum here in the second half of this fight.
More body work, need more body work.
20 seconds left here in round 7.
This is a good work round for Lionell Thompson.
The 8th and final round coming up. And let's take a listen into both corners. Apologize for some of the language there you heard in Parker's corner. Here we go, 8th and final round.
Yeah, Lonnie's corner said, don't go crazy, but let's win this round. So we'll see what kind of energy comes out in this final round.
Thompson seems, according to you, the fans, to have won the last 3 rounds. Keep in mind, Parker did drop Thompson in the 3rd round and had won the first 2, according to you, the fans. In fact, as we take a look at your scorecard, and this thing is really getting close.
That's a good stiff jab to the body by Lonnie. It's landing. Flush. Now what do you do from that? You feint to the body, you come to the head, or you come with another combination right after that jab to the body.
So far, that knockdown has been the difference according to your scorecard. Minute gone here in the last round.
Both guys seem to have a silent agreement. I won't do too much if you don't do too much. I would like to see one guy go for it and try to finish this. Be decisive. There we go. And he pulls out. But he pulls out. You got to try to close the show here. You got to try to close the show. No regrets. You got to go for it.
Yeah, if I got knocked down this last round, probably 200 punches coming from me. I'm not stopping. I have to feel like I've done everything I can do to win this fight. This is a good round for Lonnie. Good round for both guys, really, but a good round, in my opinion, for Thompson, but he's got to do more.
He's got a minute now left in this fight.
Yeah, who's going to separate themselves?
Body work there by Thompson.
What do you do to separate yourself? You don't stop. That's what you do. You don't stop. Lonnie's coming. He's got to keep coming. He's got to keep punching.
Jab to the body, Thompson. 30 seconds now left in the fight.
It's a close fight.
Jab, Thompson.
That fighter's clock's got to kick in like really soon. You know what time it is. Let it all rip. What do they do? Finish strong.
Final seconds here of this fight. And we'll ask the question, will the knockdown be the difference?
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds, we go to the scorecards. Here are your score totals. Judge at ringside, Adelaide Bird sees the bout 76-75 for Parker. Judge Robert Hoyle sees the bout 76-75 for Thompson. And Judge Glenn Trowbridge has the bout 76-75 for your winner by split decision, Paul Pay-Per-View Parker.
We asked the question, will the knockdown be the difference? It looked like it was.